Dave Ramsey envelope thing. It was his idea that we have to do it. But yeah, so all you that love Dave Ramsey, yes, that's what I've gotten to live on. So we would do the Dave Ramsey envelope thing, and he's like, what envelope is that coming from? And I was like, oh, I don't know. You know, and so I joined It Works, and then all of a sudden, I was telling my mom about it, my sister-in-law, my best friend, and they all just kind of seemed interested. And I was like, whoa, maybe I can, you know, make some money with this. And pretty soon it was bringing in some money, and I could, you know, start the dance classes, and then I could go to Starbucks, not just once, but sometimes twice a day. And John no longer added up how much I was spending in Starbucks monthly, because he would do that because he's a math major and would show me how much we were giving Starbucks. But yeah, so I could go to Starbucks, I could go to Target and, you know, put things in my shopping cart and not start taking them out once I got to the checkout line, because my spending envelope was always empty, so sometimes I would pull from electricity, but then John would get mad. So yeah, so I could just go to Target and I didn't have to pull from the electricity envelope. And then, honestly, it was probably my second month at Double Diamond, and I remember commissions posted, and John and I looked at each other and our jaws dropped. And that was when I realized this thing was big. We have always had a heart for ministry. We're on staff, college and adult pastors for 10 plus years, but we've always been on staff at a church, plus John works his corporate job. Because financially, we could never just pursue ministry and do that, you know, and still have our family, you know, and be able to, you know, pay for everything. And so it was then when I realized, oh my goodness, Lord, this is how we're going to be able to eventually walk into what you have for us. Like, I never thought it could be possible. And what's crazy is I thought I was a dreamer. I always would think, I'm a dreamer. But I never truly dreamed without limits until It Works. And I always say, It Works has given me more than an income. It's actually taught me how to dream. And for the first time ever in my life, I'm dreaming without limits. I believe sky's the limit. I'm dreaming bigger than ever. But the thing is, it's not just about me. It's so much bigger. I have a team that's now dreaming big. And so that's why I rearranged my life.
Don't you love her? Okay, so here's the deal. You know, you guys have been in like 14, 15 months?
Yeah, like about a year and a half.
A year and a half? And you guys are all in, and you're investing more now than you ever have, but you have more than you ever had in your entire lifetime. So why? Why are you investing more?
You know, the thing, what keeps me going is the future, and I get really excited about the future, because I always say, we had a good life before It Works, but now we have a great life. In these past 18 months, I have been able to give more, to live more, and to save more. And that is so huge. And I think about some things like a couple months ago, us being able to go to the car dealership and just pay cash for a car. That's not normal for most 30-year-olds. I think about at my 1-year mark when John looked at me and he was, I don't know, figuring out something, and he goes, Sherry, we have given more in our 1 year with It Works than we have in our entire 10 years of marriage. And we have always been faithful tithers and givers. Woo! That's huge. In 1 year.
That's
you know?
so awesome.
And the thing is, we're actually able to live a life of financial freedom right now. And what that means is that we can give without hesitation, you know? And I think of one thing like Christmas. We've always come together with our young adults group and helped provide Christmas for a family. But this year, we were able to provide Christmas for 4 families by ourselves. We've always had a heart for the country of Haiti and sponsored a little boy, but now we can give like never before and partner with the agency, you know? And once again, it's bigger than me. Now my team can give more, can live more, and can save more. And there's moms coming home with their babies, there's debt being paid off, there's missions trips being planned, you know, and it's all because of this. It reminds me of the Winston Churchill quote that says, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And we're blessed to be a blessing.
Woo! Yes.
Love that.
Woo! That was awesome.
Thank you. So the next girl on our white couch is Rachel Williamson, and to know her is to love her. And you know, I know that you were brought to It Works because you and your husband are so special. Getting to know her and talk with her and her husband have been completely crazy, bodacious dreamers. in ministry in a way that they're like, how in the world are we going to bless the world another big way? And it's really awesome because they were taking steps and they saw nothing below their feet, like walking on water type things. They were in Texas, they moved to Colorado to give back to that entire community, and they took on $30,000 in debt. They have a family, things that would be scary, but they were like, we're all in, we know God brought us here. And it worked, came into your life at the perfect moment. One thing I hear you say is, my cup runneth over. I'm overflowing. And I've watched people come up to her and they're like, your cup runneth over. And it's like, that's not normal to say to someone. Would you tell us what that means to you? Because it's so special what God's doing in your life.
Yes, it is funny. I saw someone last night. She was like, your cup is running over. And I was like, that is so weird. She doesn't even know that I'm talking about cup runneth over. But it's true. And we were, before It Works, we were in survival mode, you guys. It was bad. And this business brought us hope and relief. And I realized very quickly that I could make more than $500 a month in this business. And that $500 was supplying food on the table, but I was going to do a lot more than that. And that brought me into my first conference ever, and it was here. And I remember your mom, and it was a life-changing moment for me, standing on stage saying to all of us, good people do good things with their money. And our prayer is that this business will bless people abundantly, financially, so that you can go change your worlds. And I took that to heart and I said, God, I want to be one of those good people. And I want to go change my world. And here we found ourselves at Ambassador Diamond in March of this year. And years ago, we lived in Africa for a time, and we served in missions there. And our dream was always to go back, but it's very expensive, obviously, to go there. So we just put it on the calendar. We're like, we're going April of 2015. Well, I went ambassador in March, you guys. That wasn't even planned. And so we fly over to Africa, and we get there, and we're home. We're like, oh my goodness, like we haven't seen these people in years. And, my heart was broken because there was a flood that devastated Malawi, Africa. And their homes were gone, and they were still so joyful, and they were happy, but they were all living in UNICEF tents for months. And Jeremy and I walked through those villages, and I was so excited to see them, but when I went into their tents, they had nothing. They had nothing to their name. It was empty inside, and I realized these guys work hard every day for $1 a day. They're never going to be able to rebuild their homes. And I realized at that moment why I went ambassador the month before, so that I could give back to the people in my world. And we were able to give abundantly that month and leave it there. Something we never could do before. We were able to rebuild 7 families' homes. And that is a good thing. I just think of what we have now, and that how our cup runs over, to be able to generously give, to the single moms that live down the street that don't have a washer and dryer, that you can just go and you can purchase it for them and just give it to them as a gift, or the person that can't afford a car, and you know their story and you know they need one, and you can give it to them. Those are things that you can change your world with, and we may not be able to change the world at a global perspective, but we can change our worlds that we're living in.
That's incredible. One of the things I take notice of is that always before, when you gave, your family and you almost didn't know how to survive anymore. But in this time, you're giving more than ever, and your family is living really abundantly. How does that feel?
Well, it's amazing. When we were chatting, I found my food stamp card, you guys. And I pulled it out on Zoom, and I was like, you guys, look at my food stamp card. And they were like, oh my gosh. And I was like, it's a crazy feeling, you guys, to have to live that way. And it's not the American dream. That's not the way we're meant to live. And this opportunity is giving you a chance at hope and freedom. And I don't have to run that food stamp card anymore. I don't have to go to Walmart and coupon and try to buy the cheapest stuff. I can go to Whole Foods, run my debit card through in cash and I can buy what I want, and it's awesome.
So there's one more thing that stands between a lot of people and their more, and I think it's letting the struggle overtake them. And letting them just say, I already did that and it was nice, but I don't want to go for more because some things about that was hard. And there is a promise in this world, and it's, in this world there will be struggles, but be of good heart because God's overcome this world. And, this business isn't easy because life's not always easy. What do you do with your team? What kind of a mindset do you guys take on to say, doesn't matter, the struggle's real, keep going, keep on trucking?
So this is good and it's deep, and I know that all of you can relate to this. You're going to face hardships in this business, but I brought my secret right here. This is my secret to success. You guys want to hear it?
Yes.
I'm ready.
This is our team's success right here. It's on this little piece of paper, and I'm just going to read it to you. This is a true story, so keep that in mind. In 1911, there were two nations racing to be the first to reach the South Pole. The dangerous trek across Antarctica, which stretched 1,400 miles, and Great Britain and Norway were both determined to accomplish this amazing feat. Both teams had a good start when they arrived in Antarctica at the same time. However, Great Britain had totally underestimated how difficult the journey would be. Their leader would drive them to exhaustion on good days, and when the sun was out, then sit in the tent and complain about the weather on the bad days. The team from Norway, on the other hand, had a plan. Their leader said, in good weather, we won't go too far and get exhausted. In bad weather, we will get up and we will go no matter what. They traveled 20 miles every day, no matter what. Good weather, 20 miles. Bad weather, 20 miles. Discouraged, 20 miles. They just kept moving forward every single day, on good days and bad. The team from Great Britain, which would only move forward when they felt like it, and when the weather was good, eventually stalled out, exhausted and depressed, and they died there. Every single one of them perished. The team from Norway, with their 20-mile march, they made it to the South Pole. They won the race on the exact day they had planned when they set out. We march, we blitz, we rap, we repeat. We do it on good days, we do it on bad days, and we stay consistent. We march every day, no matter what we feel.
That's so good. All right, are you gonna march? Good days, bad days? We have one more story we wanted to share with you, and it's called Starfish. One day a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking something up and gently throwing it into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "What are you doing?" The boy replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf is up and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." "Son," the man said, "don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and hundreds upon hundreds of starfish? You cannot make a difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the surf. He smiled at the man and he said, "I made a difference for that one." And, as we sit here and we think about what more really means, it's about that one more starfish. There's people begging and praying for these products, for this business, for you, just to put it into their lives, just to say something. Stacy Holwiger was up here talking about what Greens did for her daughter when she was unable to walk or talk. There's people that they're begging for a solution to $200 to $300 that might keep them in their home. We have people that are now making $100,000 a month that they were selling everything in their house just to survive and going to food stamp places just to pick up food. The reality is extremely real that we may not feel like we can change the world, but we can change it for one person. And that's going to mean the difference for that person, for coming into their calling, for finding what God had for them, for becoming more. And we have a message for some people out there because we think that there's a lot of you that needs to step up. Stop it. You're wasting an opportunity. And you need to go for more. So I want to talk to the person who's just had disaster after disaster hit their life. I want to talk to the person out there that feels like people have quit on them, nothing works, nothing's going as planned. Well, guess what? You were called here, and you were brought here for a reason. So don't quit. Press in. For such a time as this, God wanted to do more in and through you, and just because it didn't happen in the way you planned, those disasters may have already happened. But now you got it worked. So put your focus back on and put your blinders on, because we've got more to do with you.
That's right.
Sherry Lynn. We each have a little piece.
I would say, I want to talk to the person that stopped dreaming. But first of all, I want to say that you're not here by accident. I don't believe it was a coincidence. I believe you're at this exact conference, sitting in that exact seat, for what Kyler said, for such a time as this. And I truly believe there's people in here who have stopped dreaming. Now maybe you felt like your dream is too big, so you quit. Or maybe you kind of veered down the wrong path. Or maybe you don't think you have what it takes. Maybe you're doubting yourself. You're doubting your abilities. Take it from someone who struggled with learning disabilities their entire life, who couldn't read till their second time in third grade. If I can do it, you can do it. And last year, like you heard tons of us say, I was sitting in the very back thinking this was impossible. But with God, all things are possible. So what I want to say to you is I'm praying and believing that you're going to leave here and that those dreams are going to be reignited inside each and every one of you. I'm praying for new dreams to be birthed, and I'm believing that you guys are going to leave here and you're going to live those dreams out. You can do all things through Christ who gives you strength.
That's right.
Rachel, speak to them.
All right. I want you to know that you belong here. There has been someone in this room, and I prayed for this. You are doubting if you belong here, and you do. You belong here. You are a part of this family. And we are fighting with you and for you, and we're praying for you. The second thing I want to say, and this is a much more simple tip here. Raise your hand if you've ever prayed, God, give me a runner. I know we've all done it. I know we have. All right. We've all prayed for it lots of times, actually. I want you to know that God has actually answered all of your prayers. Every time that you go out and you sit down at a restaurant, that family next to you, that was your triple. That cash register, that cashier lady checking you out, she's your presidential diamond, you guys.
Woo!
They are out there. Do not miss out on an opportunity. When you have that gut feeling and you feel like you have to give that card out and you let fear hold you back, you might have just missed your runner. Listen, He hears your prayers and He's bringing you runners. You've got to be bold, be brave, run hard, be fearless this year, and you're going to walk across the stage on top 100. I believe in you.
Thank you all. You've been awesome. Go for more.